God damn it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Nope, your score beat them out.
Okay. Here's what I recall.
Okay.
My head notes are not very good. My head notes are last time. I think we spent most of our time in that one encounter. We did some. No, okay. Start over. Oh my god, where did we start? We were leaving the town. We spent a lot of time getting materials, okay? And then we left the town, and when we left the town, let me get up my actual notes that I took. We ran into a guy that said his mentor, who maybe is a monk, has disappeared. Um, we have part of a choker, or maybe the entire choker, that's a braided leather neckband with a silver dragon design in it, and maybe like a piece of a broken staff or something. The guy that sends us on this quest is Nasim. I wrote down Walladraw, and I'm not sure if that's correct. The monk's name was Leosin. These people are all from Burdusk, which I think is north of here.
Getting a lot of echoing.
Oh no, where's my echo coming
I'm not hearing an echo.
I wasn't hearing an echo either.
from? Oh, I was a little hearing myself. I'll keep talking, and if somebody else lights up, we'll know who it is. Okay, so I see me lighting up in ions.
Oh. Oh yeah, I heard myself now.
Jeez, ion.
Jeez.
Okay, so we went south, west. This way, southwest. We went southwest towards where we understand the bandit camp to be, or the location. And we fought. Well, we ran into a camp and slowly picked them off. And Maxine tried to turn into a different person and didn't do so well. Um, but we took them all out.
Correction, I did turn into a person. I just picked poorly to find the person.
Yes, you did turn into the other person, but then like the follow up of the talking part didn't go so hot. After that encounter, we pretty much came in here and we scoped it out and we saw a bunch of different types of bandits and groups of bandits and bandit like folk. So we pretended that we were bandit like folk and made up a group name for ourselves called the Rough Raven Raiders. Convinced the four kobolds at the guard tent that we were totally who we said we were. Walked in, bought milk off of a different bandit, and Prixicon and Greg went somewhere else. Also, Greg is a super murderer.
Super murderer.
Mm. Greg looks at you when you die like he's bad news.
He's a broken killing death machine.
Yes,
He's bad news. He's a gun.
he's a lot of things.
Lizard.
That's what I remember.
Angry lizard.
That is roughly mostly the gist.
Are there any like
Uh,
very important story points that I just left out?
no, you pretty much nailed the story points. It was that where was it? They were all monks indeed.
Yes.
His name was Nisam Walla Draw.
Walla draw. I'll change it.
You don't have the stuff. He said that all they found was his broken staff and his choker broken in half.
Ah.
Waladra.
Oh. I just spelled it phonetically.
They all are they were from Burdusk, which is northeast of Greenest. Having come from Candlekeep.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did go south. You spent most of the time trying to get your equipment and whatnot ready for the journey. And yes, he did ask him and his monk brothers basically asked you if you could look for Leosin because he was trying to pin down the points for the bandit raids that have been going all up and down the Sword Coast. And they came to Greenest because they thought they might be coming under attack soon. Your part of your task was, yes, to retrieve milk, but also that Governor Nighthill, the governor and leader of um, Greenest, offered each of you 250 gold to find the camp, find their find out their plans, find and rescue their kidnapped people, find out who they were going after next, why they were doing like the finding out all the gists of the stuff. Um, then yes, we spent most of the rest of the time in that encounter, which took longer than I thought. Um, Greg, the primal spirited companion lizard, murdered half of pretty much all of the human bandits as Maxine got pelted with rocks because she indeed turned into a human and they hate humans at the moment. They did not like her, but nobody saw that she had changed her face because she kept her hood up and then ran back to the party. And Rhoda also killed a bunch of kobolds with Moonbeam using very fancy spell templates that I spent way too long making. Um, which also ended up clogging up our character name list.
It's fine.
And, and then you guys found the camp in this U-shaped grove. And yes, you guys uh half of the party recognized some of the bandits. Maxine taking the lead brought you in as a different group of bandits that were brought in by one of the other ones, and you guys bought milk for a very, very cheap 5 gold, and then that guy immediately got knocked the fuck out by another bandit.
You just gotta call it
Uh,
cheap milk.
Yeah.
I mean, to them they were selling a child. You're not gonna get a lot of money for a child. Um, and then yes, you guys went back and you guys were collaborating, and Greg and Prixicon went off to go look at one of the bandit camps. And um, we are actually going to start tonight with something different.
Oh boy.
So you guys made it into the camp, yes, and you guys made it past the initial guards. The camp right now, as it is the midday after the first day after the attack, is very lax and not really paying attention. So you were able to make it past the guards pretty easily. But now you have to find a way to stay undercover, not get noticed, get the information you need, and find everything you need to. So what we are going to do is we are going to run the very first skill challenge of the campaign.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, I gotta close various doors. Hold on.
Yes, that was a lot of other. I heard conversations about controllers and whatnot.
Yeah,
I
every
hope,
once in a while, there's just a lot of excitement in this house.
as long as those controllers are not going up butts, then I'm okay.
No, I don't think
Don't
that's the
judge.
case.
Don't
Did you say
judge.
judge?
No, I said don't judge.
Oh, I just heard
No,
like judge.
Don't judge them.
no. I'm not. I'm not here to kink shame. I just don't want to hear about it.
I just thought it was like a magic thing. Like somebody broke a rule. Judge. Okay, 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yes, they broke
One,
they
two.
they broke the rule. Their playmat is not tournament legal. It is sussy, and I don't want to see it. There is too much booba.
Well, that brings something relevant to memes. Because that's what you want to hear when you say that.
Yeah. Okay. I will say though that is somewhat similar to a an idea for a paladin slash uh hexblade warlock idea that I've had in my mind that I've wanted to do for a while,
Hmm.
which is the the Templar from Dragon Age Origins that married the succubus.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Welcome back.
So yes, as I was saying, we are going to run the very first skill
Oops.
challenge uh of this campaign. So, skill challenges being a thing that was first introduced in 4th edition. Um we your goal I will be setting a goal, which for right now it is to ingratiate yourself in the camp to lower any suspicions about you while also trying to find any of the information out that you can, type of thing, like wander the camp, explore it, yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. So the main goal being ingratiate yourself into the camp so you're not immediately pointed out as the hero's greenest, um, while also getting into a position where you can safely find out information. You will have a set of successes you need to reach before you hit a certain number of failures. Uh,
Mhm.
for for this one, it is going to be you need 8 successes before you hit 4 failures.
Mm.
Okay.
Uh, you can use any of your skills. The stipulation for that is you need to, in using your skill, you need to use it in a way that advances to your goal,
Okay.
and you can suggest anything as long as it is within reason, and I will give you a yes or a no on whether or not it can be used in that way. Um, you can't use the same skill twice in a row,
Mm.
and you can't use the same skill as the person who went ahead of you.
Ooh.
The same
Uh,
skill or the same ability? Does that
same
make sense?
skill,
Okay.
same skill. So like if uh so like if Rhoda goes after Prixicon, Rhoda, you can't use like if you used medicine last turn,
Mm-hmm.
you can't use it again this turn. And if Prixicon used athletics, you can't use athletics.
But like, if I use medicine, somebody else could use insight, even though they're both wisdom based.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's not about the attribute, it's about the skill itself.
Okay.
Skill or tool. Um you can use your abilities like you can if you have a spell that you want to use type of thing, you can. It'll get turned into a check or it'll get turned into a skill check relevant to this to the ability. So like if Rhoda, like if you wanted to cast a spell, it would be a religion because you're a cleric. Um nature for clanks. If
Okay.
Harvey was here, it would be intelligent, it would be arcana,
Right.
but we're not counting Harvey because we have no Mizu this session.
And the goal here is to just get information and generally
You
further our
want to
cause.
it is basically to ingratiate yourself into the camp so that you are not immediately picked out as who you are.
Right.
You want to it is to ingratiate yourself into the camp so you're not looked on as pure outsiders so
Right.
that you can get information.
Alrighty.
Um type of thing.
Well, you guys, this is
Um
not my strong suit.
but that's
I'll
the
put
thing.
my hood
You
up.
can use your skills in any way that you can see as that you can think of. Just obviously like within reason. So like if say Prixicon is wants to like show off like how to the other 2 other bandits like how strong he is type of thing. It could be in athletics. Like you can use them in any way that you can see fit as long as it is relevant to the skill and
Mhm.
that it is used in a way to further to the goal.
So maybe we could all talk
Alright.
about what we bring to the table and what we think might help.
Uh, Actually, that leads to one of the questions I was going to ask because depending on what the skill check would be, do backgrounds play any role into the mechanics like advantage, disadvantage?
It could. There are things that could happen in the future as well where like the terrain or an event going on or something somebody else did type of thing could give you advantage or disadvantage. It won't always play into effect, but depending on the check, it may. So there could be a chance that something whether it is ingratiated into you or if it's uh in how it is will play into whether or not it can give you advantage or disadvantage.
Okay.
I was asking mainly because some would probably fit in with the background of the City Watch, like insight and
Right.
perception, because I know
Uh
what to look for.
right. In this instance, you will be able to use that once. Like you can give yourself advantage. Because that's the other thing. There may be also like a thing where it's like you get a free every player gets one free advantage or the party gets one free advantage type of thing. In this instance, for you, Persigon, since you are a city guard, once during this encounter, you can give yourself advantage on a check because you know bandits because you are a city guard.
Yeah.
So yes, so like in this instance, it doesn't matter what the check will be. You can give yourself advantage once for because of your background. Type of thing.
Alrighty.
So what can everybody bring to the table here, individually, you guys?
Let's see. My highest would be athletics,
Okay.
if trying to be, for lack of better phrasing, friendly with something like, I don't fucking know, with some sort of
Big beef boy.
yeah.
Maybe you could relate to people, you know,
Yeah.
because of your stature or your build.
Yeah,
Or your
and we've already
abilities.
established that strength can be used for like intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That would
Yeah.
also be a thing, especially among bandits.
Right.
Uh,
Maxine. Oh, if you have more things, let me know.
the only other thing I can think of is persuasion, because I know criminals.
Fair enough.
I will say too, if nothing else, when it comes to these kind of things, it is more um it's also more based on like the role play aspect of it, more so than the what is the thing I'm really good at, especially since you're basically depending on the situation, you're probably only going to be able to do that once.
I'm kind of halfway asking everybody else, like vaguely in roleplay, kind of the what skills do you know, but also like what skills do you know? Like it's kind of a double.
Oh.
Well, I will say too, that's the thing. Like when it comes into the thing, it's going to be the person that so and so decides. If it ends up fucking you up in the end for your next roll, it fucks you up in the end for
That's
your
fine.
next roll.
That's fine.
Okay.
So
Milk.
I will say,
What do you think?
I'm gonna do something here, which I think might benefit us. I'm gonna turn around and poke my head out and use perception to look around for the biggest motherfucker in the place.
we haven't started yet.
Well, that's what I can do.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna do
Maxine,
this.
what do you think you could do to help?
I'm really good at lying
Okay, good, good.
and blending in with crowds.
Follow up to that, Maxine. Based on your things we've discussed, um, are you able to help maybe some of the rest of us that aren't so good at blending in? Maybe help us blend in a little bit better. Like, I've got a scarf. I can tie it around my horns, and you know what I mean. Like stuff like that. Can you do stuff like that? Can you help with stuff like that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
100% can.
Okay. So maybe like we could be like less obvious. Clinks. What you got?
I'm I'm small.
Okay. Yeah.
I can slink around, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, like I said too, the other part of the goal is to like quote unquote get the information and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
The main part is to ingratiate, but it's also to gather and figure out what you need and get further into the camp.
I'd probably
Yeah.
give a good watch the patrols and see if they're actually patrolling or just wandering around aimlessly, like back and forth. If there's any like set paths or something.
Clinks, I found you to be a very patient person, and I definitely think that you could do that sort of thing. I'm good at reading people's nonverbals, and maybe if they're lying to us or there's something that they're hiding or something like that, I can pick up on that. That's from my background as in sales as a merchant. I'm not always good at talking to people, but I can read people. Is Greg good at anything other than murder?
Greg does not get a turn.
Why doesn't Greg get a turn? That's garbage.
Because this is only for PCs. I'm
Greg's
also
a
going to.
PC.
We
Greg is
don't
not a
want Greg.
PC.
We don't want Greg tearing people apart here.
Also, Greg has no proficiencies.
You have
Oh,
to
really?
nerf Greg, or else he's too good.
That's
No,
discrimination.
Yeah, I know because he doesn't exist.
Oh, that's so mean.
He's a beast of primal energy. He does not actually exist. Also, no, he does not have any skill proficiencies. He just gets a bonus. He just gets an extra bonus to whatever skill he makes.
Okay.
I'm also so for right now, it's fine for this one. I'm in the future. You do not get planning sessions in skill challenges.
But that was our role play.
No, I'm just saying you get it now because we ended with you guys already in the camp. In the future, when a skill challenge happens, it goes right into it just like a combat would. There is no planning stage.
That's fine.
That's just me. That's me letting you know so that in the future, when I'm like, okay, we're going into a skill challenge, there is no planning.
Well, Milk was ready to go and find the. I'm sorry. What was it? Biggest motherfucker in the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're already in the
I-
camp. We have
Yeah,
reason.
do it.
We have
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
to have a planning
Yeah,
session.
you're with the biggest motherfucker in the camp right now.
Yeah, I just thought I'd add the flavor.
This is more just me letting you know that like
Yeah, that's fine.
for this very first one, the plan, and because we ended with you guys in the camp having just reacquired milk, it's fine. But in the future, it's basically just going to be just like it's basically a role play skill based combat. There is no planning. It's just jump in.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let Milk take it away.
Well, no, because everybody rolls initiative.
Oh.
Like me first. So
Yep. So everybody roll initiative.
Wait. Can I use my give somebody double initiative thing? Do I have
No,
that?
your whole Twilight ability thing. No, this is just a straight give me an initiative roll.
Dang it. Okay, I don't have time to take an action.
Oof.
Oh, oops.
Oh,
no,
Rhoda,
I rolled
you
a
got nat
20
20.
and I wasn't selected.
Oh,
Does that mean
fix
she can
it.
give someone inspiration?
I'll fix it. Hold on.
No.
I rolled a 1 to make up for that. Hold on.
Let's see.
There we go. Fixed.
Okay, this is weird because my turn order was empty and now it is not. Now it's got doubles of everybody.
Oh, that's happened to me.
And then yes, so for this, Harvey is just going to be very, very quiet because this whole dealing with bandits does not sit well with southern coastly.
Harvey's
man.
gonna sit himself down and have a little bit of a rest.
he's taking a nap.
he's all tuckered out.
He's very tuckered out.
We'll come back for him. Remember not to forget him in this tent.
Alrighty, so the first one up is Clinks. So Clinks, what are you going to do? Now you also can use your tool proficiencies as well. So it's not just it's skill. You can use your skills or your tools, like anything that would be considered a skill. So what are you going to do to push the group forward in ingratiating yourself into the camp and trying to find out the information, trying to get yourself into the position of finding out the information that you're looking for?
Let me see.
And because this is our first skill challenge, I'm not always going to tell you the DC, but the DC for this is 12.
Oh, that's not bad.
Just a nice, easy go about it.
God, watch us roll like ones the whole time.
Yep.
Oh no.
Could my background in being a mercenary veteran come into play?
I would give same as Perxicon. You can I will give you one free advantage on any on on a skill check during this for your because of your background.
Okay.
Because in this instance, being a mercenary or being a city guard is very helpful when trying to ingratiate yourselves with bandits.
Well, the starters, we're just hiding in this tent.
Yeah, you guys
Can I
are in this tent.
am I able to just rummage around and see if I can find any kind of like clothing I can slip over my gear so I look more like a scruffy bandit?
Sure. What skill are you trying to use?
Um, hmm.
I would like if you're looking for that I would give as like an investigation, but like I said, if you can find a way to work a skill into being logical for your action, 9 out of 10 times I'll give it to you.
What about perception?
I mean, generally
Like
perception.
I am looking around
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
can see the sort of like clothing like the bandits roaming around
Yeah, okay, yeah.
wearing,
That would be more for perception because
and I can
perception is
rummage around and see if I can find something that looks kind of like that.
yeah, because well, that's the thing. Because perception is generally for like the more wide area kind of thing, whereas investigation is more the direct, specific searching kind of thing. Which is why I was saying it was more an investigation. But I'll give you the perception.
I roll perception.
Yep. Yeah, just like normal, Okay. Um. So you get a decent look, but you don't end up finding anything in this tent that matches the things you've seen. So that is one failure. And like I said, you need 8 successes and before 4 failures. Um, and if I will say too, if you end up failing a skill challenge, it's not you're not automatically like dead or found out or anything. It's just there are consequences for failing.
Right.
All right. So Rhoda, what are you doing to try to
Okay.
push
So
to the goal?
here's my idea. I'm going to, like I mentioned, like take my scarf. It's incredibly useful, and fashion it around my head in some way that makes me look a little less. I don't know, a little more down to earth. Maybe is the correct phrasing here. I'm going to use my alchemist supplies. Okay, and I'm going to make a medicine check using my alchemist supplies and my knowledge of.
It would just be alchemist supplies then.
Wait. Is that a check?
Alchemist supplies are a tool themselves.
Well, what do you roll for tools? I'm sorry.
You use whichever attribute you're planning to use. Like you,
Okay.
yeah.
So
It's
can I just use like
You can
wisdom?
click the tool.
yeah. I'm telling you, it's not like you're not combining all of that together. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's
So the goal
skills use.
here is that I'm taking my alchemist supplies and I'm creating what to me might be something that a merchant of generic medicine might carry with my knowledge of the general things that people like this might want, like generic bandages and salves and stuff like that. And I'm going to outfit myself like I'm helping sell this sort of thing or maybe hawk this sort of thing, right? That's how I'm going to try to ingratiate myself is I'm going to be a merchant. But it's kind of like I'm being a merchant, but it's kind of a cover for me just kind of watching people. Does that make sense?
I get what you're trying to say. I don't think that's going to work the way you want it to.
Why do you believe that?
Because I am looking at the alchemist supplies and that
I do have like a potion of healing in my bag and some vials of sand and water like that. I have things in my bag that could make it theoretically
Yeah,
look like I was
but again,
trying to help.
yeah, but also I don't really think banners would just let a merchant in.
You don't think so?
No, I do. I do not think so.
Okay, my
If
other
she's selling like black market items.
yeah.
In a camp like this, I'm going to say they wouldn't have let just a merchant in.
Okay, then maybe let's find a second
This
angle.
this interaction that happened down here was literally just there so you can get Milk back as quickly as you could.
Well, maybe I can team up with Milk, then, and if Milk is okay with it, the problem is I'm not good at talking to people, and I need to find something where I can be around people that are talking without me having to talk.
You're probably gonna have to talk.
Okay.
Don't look at me. I can't talk either.
Uh,
That's the thing. That's what part of this is. It's coming up with ways to get through.
yeah, I'm trying to find a
Even if
cover.
you're bad at
I'm
things.
trying to find a cover.
Rhoda hears in her mind.
I will also say spending. Granted, yes, you have no successes. You only have one failure, but spending the entire thing coming up with each of you being like, I come up with a disguise is not going to push you towards the goal.
Yeah, that's what I figured, and that's why I was trying to find a different angle. My different angle idea wasn't a solid idea. I'm a freaking tiefling. I stand out. Like
Yeah, and as I've said, and as a previous session, you know that there's gnolls in this camp, there's goblins in this camp, there's kobolds. You don't stand out as there's a Leonin, there's
yeah.
orcs and whatnot. Like you don't stand out as much as you think you stand out.
Tieflings can be pretty intimidating. I wouldn't want to fuck with someone with horns.
Maybe I should just.
I mean, there are a couple
wander.
people who would be wearing horns as helmets.
Maybe I could just chill out and wander and people watch and snack.
See that you can do. That would push because you're watching the bandits. You're watching everything. Everybody.
Can I use an insight check?
You can use an insight check.
Okay.
You could yeah, like that would be like wandering the crowd, trying to get a gauge of it, so
I'm trying
the party
to read
can.
nonverbals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick up on
Yes.
things
Yeah, that is fine.
maybe the people that are being real sketch,
Yeah.
picking them out. Okay, I'm gonna
Finding
make
the
an
people who
insight
you could. Yes, make an insight check. DC 12.
check. Oh god. What?
Yeah. There we go.
Hey,
Do I get a bonus? Can I negate the bad roll?
All right, so you have one success. So yes, you start moving through the crowd.
Very nice.
Sorry that took so long, you guys.
No, that's the thing. This is our very first one. It's just it's a very specific thing. Like if we didn't need if I didn't want to make sure that you guys got Milk back as soon as possible last session, I would have done that as the start of this session to get past the guards. But I wanted
overcomplicate things, so my bad.
you did kind of overcomplicate that a little bit. But no, this is also the first one. It's untouched territory unless you played 4th edition. Even then, 4th edition skill challenges kind of sucked because it was like, how do you get to use these 2 specific skills, and how do you do this thing? You use this skill, and half the time that skill wasn't even what it was used for.
Yeah.
Dungeoneering to get rid of a ghost.
Was 4th edition popular in 2005?
It is clarified as the worst edition.
It was 2011 to 2012.
Oh, so
also,
damn.
it came out in 2007. 2005 was 3.5e still, I think.
3.5, yeah.
So Maxine.
Yes, but yes. So you move through. You're starting to pick out a couple of the groups that are little too sussy, who might be the ones that might be a little bit too sketchy to try for. You're picking out the groups of who you can talk to and who you can't.
Right.
And then Maxine, it is your turn. The only skill unavailable to you right now is Insight.
Cool. So I would like to use Deception.
Okay.
To basically go through the crowd, kind of boasting about the Ravens and stuff like that, and trying to build networking connections among these bands. Hey, you heard any good jobs in Neverwing server?
Maxine's throwing rapport out there.
Right.
Did you guys hear about that crazy dragon heist? That was insane. Anyway.
While also doing that, being And I'm assuming too, because since you're trying to like do that, you're like, yeah, you heard of us, right? You know, we're those guys that did that thing.
No,
And then
exactly.
to make everybody, yeah, okay, yeah, make me as a deception check. All right, that is
Nice.
2. Yep.
Yeah.
So using the groups that Rhoda points out, you're able to find like the groups that you probably can get a little bit of like better contact with, and you go through, you start spreading. Then you get a couple of like, oh yeah, the Ravens. I've heard about the Ravens. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, and start talking about some jobs and whatnot. Um, making some people that you probably can get some info on what's going on through later. Yeah. Milk, it is your turn. As of right now, you see Rhoda has pointed out some groups. Clinks was unable to find clothes. Maxine is making business connections. How would you like to push the narrative? And the only skill you can't use right now is deception.
Say, can I like think back of when I got like abducted and like kidnapped, like maybe some like information I might have heard on the way? Like, can I like make a history check or something? Maybe
Yeah,
I
yeah, that
maybe
works.
maybe they
Especially
said some prominent names or figures in their group.
that you can that yeah, you can do that. Make a history check.
Dang, we have the smartest warlock.
I have this little inspiration point. Can I use that shit?
Uh,
Roll advantage.
yeah, I'll let you use it this time.
It's easy to get.
Mostly just because not every time will I will allow the inspiration use, but okay, yeah. So that is 3 successes. Okay, so yeah, you're sticking close to Maxine, following lead, and you're able to like pass along some names for her to drop in her conversation, that you've heard, uh, while having been a captive of these bandit groups to help ingratiate yourself. So yeah,
I put my hood up so I look a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, these are the guys. These are the guys. I remember that.
all right, Prixicon, you see that most of your group has found little corners to like talk their way through. Rhoda, Maxine, and Milk seem to be like picking out groups and having talks and chats with. What would you like to do?
I would like to use my perception to see. I am always shit with descriptions, so I'm sorry about that. For lack of better phrasing, who behaves more like they're the ones at the top of
Okay,
certain groups, and who behaves like the grunts.
you're looking for you want to try to perceive who kowtows and who tops.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Who tops?
I, uh,
Did you
using
want to
my
use your freebie background piece?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are halfway there. Okay. Yeah. So you're able to like look around. You definitely notice that like the kobolds are definitely treated as the lessers of everybody, no matter who they are. Um, you also are able to easily pick out that everybody on the before it starts sloping down seems to be lower on any form of totem pole. And you do notice that basically anybody who might seem like they are a little bit higher up is definitely towards the back wall,
Mm.
or like back towards this area. But yeah, Clinks, we're back up to you. As I've described, Maxine, Milk, and Rhoda are like pointing out, having conversations. You see Prixicon scoping everybody out. Um, Basically, you just don't have perception available to you, as you used it last time, and Prixicon used it on his turn anyway. Hello.
There.
Oh, hold on.
Sorry, I was muted.
Uh, but yeah,
Um,
so I was like, this is awkward silence. This is not good.
Okay, so
Quiet.
I'm small. I have fury. Yeah, maybe. Let me see. What could I use?
Let's stand on each other's shoulders and blend in with the talls.
Two Lalafells in a trench coat, trying to get into an R-rated movie.
It'll work. Trust me.
Uh,
And you get advantage because
Clinks,
there's
do you
two of
have
us.
nature? Are you
What?
good at the nature checks?
No.
No? Okay. I was trying to come
Uh,
up with...
If you want to use your smallness, you could try stealth. You could try, I mean, like I said, if you can find a decent enough reasoning to go along with any of the skills to try to push everything, then you're more than welcome to try that.
Is it okay if I butt in and suggest something that came to my mind that Clinks might be good at? Clinks, is it okay
Sure.
with you?
Sure.
I don't know if as a ranger you might be able to see maybe on the ground or in the environment where people travel the most and like how the structure of the camp is set up. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know what sort of check that would be, but like
You're talking you're talking tracking, so that would be survival.
yeah, like a tracking thing, right? That sounds like a rangery thing to me. Does that
Um,
All right.
make sense?
Either that or like, is there anything like Tara? If you wanna try to describe what you're doing, I could suggest a skill for you. Try
I just want to sneak my way further into the camp.
stealth.
Yes.
Stealth would be your best option. Maybe deception to try to blend in with like the kobold type of thing. Um, in that kind of aspect, stealth would probably be your best option.
Figure I
Or
could
I
probably,
should say
try and sneak
closest.
my way this way.
Yeah, yeah. Your closest skill would be like would be to like stealth because you are small. There are other small humanoids, so you could try to blend in and sneak what. So yeah, make me a stealth roll, and then if you want, you can use your freebie from your mercenary background.
How do I place myself on the map again? I deleted myself.
Oh, if you go to the
Oh,
chat
okay.
box,
I got it.
there you
I
go.
got it. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Survival. Stealth check.
Yep.
Da.
Okay.
Hey, it
You
was
just
12.
make it. See, and that's why I made it 12 because as you can see, 20, 26, 23. I was like, I want this to be, a normal challenge for these guys, especially with their rolled stats. Because going back and using the old, like the 4th edition stuff, it does not help. All right. So you guys are at 5 successes. So yeah, you're able to. Yeah, It's not. The tall folk don't notice you as well. You are picked up a bit by your smaller kin in the guise of the kobolds, but you're able to stealth through and remain unnoticed enough as they end up getting occupied with the tall folk who end up not caring for their being. So yeah, you're able to stealth yourself into an advantage where into a place where a grouping of people is that you could probably overhear. Rhoda, it's back to you.
My next
So
idea, I'd like to use my medicine check.
Okay.
I want to observe, and maybe if there's people that have like really big weird gashes or wounds, either I can just observe them, or maybe I can approach them and be like, "That looks like that hurt. Where did you get that battle scar?" Something to that effect.
Okay, so you want to use medicine to try to like be the bandit camp doctor for maybe like the people who just came in from Greenest type of thing?
Either be a doctor or just be like, "Hell yeah, man, that was an intense fight with that manticore," or whatever, you know.
I would say if you want to use medicine, lead towards the doctor route because that
Okay.
would be a deception. That would be a deception check.
Well, I'm not good at deception. I want to use medicine. That's what I'm trying to do, is use my medicine.
Then yeah,
Which is why I was using it to identify weird or like off the wall injuries as opposed to like that dude
May
fell
I-
over, you know?
Off the wall injuries.
Yeah, off the wall injuries.
do you want to rephrase that as more battle wounds, because off the walls would be a very odd phrasing of what to look for.
I mean,
Wound's totally out there.
yeah, like you know how like every once in a while you'll see that guy that has like the huge gash in his head and you're like, "Oh my god, how did that happen?" right?
Yeah, I just
That's
mean like
the sort of
off the
thing.
Yeah, I just mean like off the wall is like, are you looking for people who have been fighting magical creatures?
I'm not looking
I-
for people that have been
Gnarly
fighting
eye
magical
patch, how'd you get it?
creatures.
Yeah, no, I get it. If you want to use your medicine, I would say more towards trying to find and ingratiate yourself in with like the medics
Okay.
type of thing.
Yeah, it would
Just
be
because-
either find the medics or find the people that are clearly getting into more trouble than they need to be getting into.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Um,
kind of trying to identify the right people to make friends with.
Okay, you go with what I say, because the more you talk, the more you're leaning into other skills.
Alright.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
6.
Yeah, you keep going into find things, which is perception or investigation, and you want to use medicine.
I mean, your argument was we could use certain skills for all sorts of things as long as we can argue it.
No, I said if you can come up with a plausible reason.
Seeing people's weird ass scars, that's a totally plausible reason.
No, that is. But when you keep saying I want to find the people and find the area, that is I look in with my peepers.
He's going to
Yeah.
find the dude with the gnarliest looking scar.
Yes.
Yes, but yeah, so you're able to, while going off your previous inciting, you're able to find your way. You're able to use that to pick out the grouping that ends up being kind of like the medic tent, and you're able to start ingratiating yourself with the bandit medics, finding people who have been wounded from recent battles, have gnarly scars and whatnot, and basically use your medicining to quote unquote assist them,
Right.
we'll say, and put yourself in there where we all know people talk to their doctors, and half the time it's more than they decide to talk about.
Yep.
Maxine,
Hello.
it is your turn to continue moving the narrative. You are 2 successes away from completing and 3 failures away from failing.
And what can I use? Medicine?
You cannot use medicine, and you cannot use deception. It's you can't use what you previously used, and you can't use what the person in front of you used.
Okay.
So anything but deception and medicine.
Could I use my perception?
Okay.
Never mind. Nero already did that. Hold on.
What? Look for
I
who's
mean-
who's in charge?
Yeah, I
Type
was gonna
thing?
be like for like
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Well, no, you
Nero,
can still do it because I wasn't immediately ahead.
Well, no, because like I think Nif was saying he basically wanted to use it for what you already used it for. And kind of when it comes to this kind of thing, if one of you notices it, all of you do.
Mm.
It's kind of a shared info kind of thing.
Okay.
This way you guys aren't like making trying to make similar checks to all do the same exact thing. Yeah, so you, as a reminder, Pixagon is basically labeled who's in charge and who is lower. Rhoda has picked out the decent groups to talk to, the shady groups to kind of avoid, and has both. And Milk has dropped some names and place and areas for you to use in conversation, and then Clinks and Rhoda have both basically put themselves in decent areas where they can listen to conversations and overhear to gain info. And that is kind of where you guys are on the roadmap.
And you've been name dropping us, Maxine. Like
While
heavy.
you have also
Business.
been while you have been um, unicorn kittying the business.
Is this working? Yes. Awesome.
Yay!
Okay, so I would like to use stealth
Okay.
to basically kind of like disappear from the conversation that me and Milk were having with
Oh,
people.
Okay.
And to just kind of like weave my way through the crowd seamlessly without anyone noticing me, see if like I pick up any like whisperings or info that like people are having amongst themselves while trying to make myself deeper into where the
You
important
basically
people are.
yeah. So basically, you want to use stealth to avoid the people you were talking to, or casually dismiss yourself without them noticing, and move further into the camp.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Make a stealth check.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, uh, Maxine, you're able to basically like while in mid conversation, you look over, you see Rhoda has now moved herself over to what you can assume is like a medic tent. You notice like you're partying in different positions, and as the person you're talking to continues their conversation, both with you, but also like with the person next to them, like bringing up like the deeds that you guys have been talking about, seeing about what you're able to like do that Assassin's Creed thing of you're there, somebody walks in front of you, you're not there, and nobody really notices, and you're able to basically ping pong your way through as you move down further into the camp.
Oh yeah.
All right. Milk.
oh,
So we are at 7 out of 8. If you succeed, then we have completed the first skill challenge.
oh.
But in worst case, you are 3 away from failing. So
That Milk's just walking, talking. So the guy who kidnapped me wouldn't stop talking about his kids, and Maxine's gone. Now I'm by myself. Great. I'm gonna look around. Uh, can I use my detect magic as I walk around and like scan the area and see what's what, see who can use magic maybe, so I can like inform more people about more of what's going on around me? Is that like a perception check or something, or like an arcana
that
check
would
or something?
that would so if you wanted to use a spell, for you it would be more of an Arcana check. Yeah, I guess I'll count that as moving closer to the goal. You know, you're trying to find out all the info. So yeah, I'll let you use that one. It would be an Arcana check.
What if there's like a super nutso magical dude that's like just chilling?
You never know. Like if we need to make an escape, at least I know who's gonna fuck us up with the fireball or whatever.
Not if you have a
Arcana.
cast fireball. Yeah, Arcana.
Or if somebody's got like a nutso magic item.
Okay. So yeah, with that, so basically, as you're milling through the crowd, and whatnot, your eyes, you're able to start peering through your magical eldritch sight, um, and you don't. The only, right now, the only magic you pick up, is coming from the book that is hanging in it, that you keep with you now. Um,
Well, this book.
you you do get a bit of a ting in the direction of Rhoda, but outside of that,
A bit of a ting?
a bit of a ting.
I'm offended.
Well, maybe if I got closer to her.
Outside of that, though, you don't notice anybody that would be a danger to you and your party. And with that, you guys have successfully infiltrated the camp without raising any suspicion.
Yay.
Yay.
So you guys have completed your very first skill challenge.
Nice.
These will come up every now and then. I find them to be a nice like different encounter, so that not everything is just combat.
Yeah, those are cool.
They might be like a social thing where it's like you're trying to convince somebody to help you. It could be like this, where you're infiltrating. Could be escaping from a falling tomb. So they'll come up a bit more often. Like I said, there might be instances where you'll get like an advantage in certain ways, or there might be like a free bonus for a free one-time use party bonus type thing. Um, I think like the first time I used one in a previous campaign was everybody was riding horses, escaping goblins,
Yes.
um, and whatnot. And yeah, it's a nice little thing. So these will probably come up a little bit more often and might add a little bit of tension. It's just gonna be finding that like sweet spot of what is a safe DC for you guys.
Right. No, I really like those. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's also it's nice because it adds in that little bit of RP element too. Because like
Mm-hmm.
for instance, like Prixicon as like a fighter is very battle oriented.
Mm-hmm.
It now gives Nero the chance to do things outside of that.
Right.
Mhm.
Or like if Mizu was here, for instance, like being able to bust out that like lawyer knowledge and not just being like I cast spells
Yeah.
type thing.
I'm
It,
sure the
it's
DC changes with our proficiency bonus and that sort of thing
it's
as well.
there's a lot of different factors. It's like the amount also the amount of successes and failures it changes depending on the complexity or the difficulty. Like one of the standards it's actually 3 failures, but I just gave you guys but they the like it tries to be like you want half as many failures as you want successes. So I went with 8 and 4 just to give you guys that like bit of a buffer because this is the very first one.
Yeah.
And this could have ended up like last session where you guys rolled very low in the beginning
Yeah.
half.
Oh man,
Um,
last session was rough.
but but yeah, like I like these just because like it's a nice way to like role play and build up your describing and your role play muscles and not just be like, hey, I'm combat, or like
Right.
if we had a bard or like somebody like who was like a skill monkey
No, it's
type
an
thingy.
absolute. I like it. I think I'll
Yeah,
implement it. Yeah.
yeah. I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah. So you guys have worked yourselves in. Maxine, I'm gonna start with you because you moved yourself the furthest into the camp essentially
Oh,
during your actions. So right now it's about midday, right? Maybe like 2 o'clock. You notice that there are a set of 4 guards working a group of 8 prisoners um in the area, um watching them very closely. Why don't you give me a quick perception check?
yeah.
Okay. You do notice that 5 of those prisoners are ones that got taken out of Green Nest.
Hi, Bob. I mean, crap. Damn it.
Right.
Though you do, from your position, you do only see those 8. And you do know that a lot more got taken, but only 5 of those you recognize from your timing, from your 10-day in Green Nest. You do notice that they though they are working and under guard by 4 very very large individuals. You do notice they have shackles on their wrists and um, definitely probably kept in that area at times. Um,
This area, right?
yeah, this is you see a bunch of like old ragged tents in this area, and they're like working in this area. So, um, but yeah, so you see that. Um, outside of that, what would each of you like to do? Uh,
Oh, question.
yes.
Does my stealth carry over from the challenge, or if I wish to stealth, I should roll another one?
No, now, if you wanted to stealth again, now it'd be like you came out of your stealth as you worked your way into the thing.
Gotcha. So it'd be like combat. Like now that it's
Yeah.
over, you got a little more skill.
Sometimes it may carry over. This time it does not, only just because like you specifically were trying to get yourself over to here, and would have like basically needed to come out so that you could be like, I'm now over here doing things.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so I'll start up. So I'm gonna start up here. Prixicon and Clinks. Clinks, you've stealthed yourself into a position in the area of a bunch of kobolds, being able to overhear a bunch of bandits. Prixicon, you are in a similar area, having pointed out, having noticed the kind of
Hierarchy.
hierarchy dynamics of the camp, at least. So what would why don't we start? We'll start with you two. What do you two want to do real quick before I move into this group?
I'll let Clinks go first.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna do any good, but can I like shuffle over to this kobold here and I'll be all like, why are there so many of these dirty humans around? Like
Yes.
I just wish there weren't so many and they're so bossy. I just want to, stab one in the shin when they're not looking. The
You can-
stinky humans
You
or
could
something.
absolutely do that.
I'd be like, why is this? Why do we have to take orders from them? Sort of thing,
Good old
right?
Clink sowing the seeds of chaos.
Fucking the kobold, like the kobold you say that to, kind of just looks over to you and goes, "No, right? They fucking smell. They think we're dirty. Ugh." And he points over to this group. They're like, "Those guys were drinking all night. They threw up on themselves. They still haven't even cleaned up. Pathetic."
Typical humans can't handle their alcohol.
He's like, he just nods. He just like, Kobold's just like nodding. And he's like, yeah, but unfortunately, he's like, it just sucks. Cause fucking, she's like, Mondeath and Sionrath are like, obey your superiors. We're better than you. Whatever. But then again, I don't want to get fed to a dragon, so.
Yeah, following orders till it's convenient, I guess.
I know, right? And who's gonna get left out to dry? The small people.
Ah, typical.
Fucking talls. Especially that. I mean, look at that one. Look how fucking tall that one is. And he points over at Prixicon. You know that one's gonna leave us out to die.
It smells like wet cat too.
Cat. Delicious.
Why must you tempt
no,
me
but
into
it's
making
like-
jokes?
Oh, yep.
Bonding experience. Damn.
He's like, it's okay though. Like, as long as we don't mess with them, they only slightly mess with us. And I mean, the bosses tend to stay in the back anyway. And he points down the slope to this like big tent all the way down there. He's like, yeah, they tend to stay down there anyway. So I mean, like, sometimes we can get away with some stuff.
At least the wind seems to be blowing in that direction. That way we don't get the stink blowing back up over here.
Right? Thank God. But yeah, so you discuss some things, and you do pick up the information that the bosses tend to stay back here, and it does seem that at least Sionrath is part of this, which is a name you know. Mondath isn't a familiar name, but Sionrath is.
Part of me feels the need to ask if I picked up on the insults towards me.
I don't know actually. Clinks, I should have asked. Were you doing that in Draconic or Common?
What would have made more sense? Like, I guess
Either
common,
or.
maybe?
Yes.
Either or. You know that kobolds speak Common and Draconic because you heard them speak both in the Attack on Greenest. And I know you know.
Would me speaking Draconic be a little bit suspicious?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I think I would have said it in common.
Okay, then yes, Perxion, you could have overheard that.
Well, on the plus side, I
At the very,
hear
or at the very least, you saw the kobold point at you and then like snicker at Clinks.
They're both laughing at each other like, eh.
uh, I just look vaguely offended and slowly start to make my way towards down the slope. I can grammar.
Grammar is kind of
Yes.
important in a game that uses talking. Um, talk.
And
Please talk good at me.
and despite looking like a lumbering
hmm
brute, well, in more ways than one, uh, I'm, for lack of better phrasing, very clearly not trying to fuck with the kobolds I am walking past.
Mm. Kind of.
Like,
Did you want to like kind of give that like I'm above you, I don't need to fuck with you kind of thing?
a wee bit of that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll say too that like you being like as you are isn't as bad because like this group over here is like that group that came in with the Knolls.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to like blend in enough. So it's also not suspicious.
Just making my way to scope out the
Yeah.
bigger side of things.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. You notice that like yes, there are some of like the more bigger wigs down here, but it's not like a clear straight up division. So like there are campsites of like both the like lower on the totem pole and the higher on the totem pole guys all mixed together. It just seems that most of the higher end people are hanging out down this way. Like I said, the camp is very lax on everything. Like people are confused, people are coming in, people are like coming and going. Security is lax. Like they're not very organized right now, but it's also like the day after a raid, so. But yeah, so you can easily make your way down there for right now.
Alright, just gonna.
Also, just so you guys have a reminder, especially after like moving through the crowds as you have today, you all are getting a like a kind of rougher estimate, not a rougher, a more clear but still rough estimate. You guys have kind of picked out like near 100 kobolds and about 80 nicks of like of the different bandits and guards and whatnot.
Okay.
So at the very least, you're seeing like almost roughly 200. But again, like people are coming in and out. But there's like a rough count of like 100 kobolds and about a rough count about 80 of the different bandits and guards and whatnot. And for extra clarity, like if you zoom out, you'll see that like just even like this is 300 feet. So you're looking at about almost 1,000-foot length of ravine.
Yeah, about 300 meters.
So yeah. So okay. So you start making your way down. I'll say you like as you make your way down is when you see Maxine like make her way out of like the crowd that she kind of was like stealthily moving towards. Clinks, you're striking up that conversation with the kobold, like becoming like buddies with the kobolds. Milk, Rhoda, and Maxine. Now that you guys are in the positions you guys are in, what do you want to do? Oh, Prixicon, you also see the prisoners as well. Now, as you've moved yourself down, you get the same thing as you've moved. That just because it's like as you're coming out of you're not coming out of a big crowd being a stealthy rogue. You also notice that 5 of them look like they were residents of Greenest. of the
I
eight.
I hope they don't
think
recognize me.
I think I established myself as vaguely trustable.
Yeah,
Milk. If I peer over to Milk, how's Milk looking?
that's the thing. Because you guys succeeded, nobody's looking at you suspiciously. They're just passing you over as like other fellow bandits who have come to the
Right.
cause. So
Right.
you're nobody's saying that you're trustworthy, but they're also not like gonna look at you sideways and check your credentials every 5 minutes.
So maybe I can finish up with the person that I'm talking to, and I
Mhm.
can dip out and pop over to Milk and be like, "Come on, Raven," and we can kind of also progress in the general direction as the same as the rest of the group.
Why don't you, before you pop out, why don't you give me what is better? Your what social skill is better for you? Or are they
Um,
all the same?
let's see, persuasion.
All right. Why don't you give me a persuasion check and you can make it with advantage because you already had integrated yourself as a fellow, like a medic.
Okay, sorry, I only rolled it once.
That's fine. Okay, the 15 works.
15, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're there working with the bandit, like tending them over. Um it does seem that they have come from a recent raid,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where this wound is, and that's kind of like why this grouping is set up.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking with him um about the raids that he was on. He wasn't at Green Nest, but some people, some of the guys nearby were.
Right.
They don't recognize you. Um, like, but they he uses like the guy next to him, like the guy you're talking to uses the guy next to him as like a reference point. And they bring up the fact that like a bunch of the different bandit groups in the area have been called. Some refused, some came to the call. Even the uh he notifies himself as a red brand bandit or red brand ruffian, which is their group. That they
Last time it
actually
was Brigands. Was it Brigands or
Oh, was it
Ravens?
Brigands? I'm sorry. Yes, it's supposed to be Brigands.
Okay.
I couldn't remember the secondary moniker, even though I've run them about 100
No,
times.
that's fine. That's fine.
Um, they actually usually don't run stuff this south. He talks about. They actually came from up north, um, near Neverwinter. But he talks about how their leader wanted them to make friends with this group that was calling out to all the bandits,
Mm-hmm.
and that their leader Mondath was offering them like vast treasures and positions of power if they assisted.
I'm sorry. Say it one more time. I need to write that down.
That the leader of that a woman by the name of Mondath had put out the call, and that they were like, man, basically he was kind of like grumbling that like the raid went well, a bunch of them like fell, but not enough. And they made it good. It's just like that Mondath better make good on the promises that they made their leader.
Can I ask that person what their incentive was? Like, what did Mondath promise you?
That was part of that. I'm sorry that she promised like wealth and power and like basically the big things that would like make a bandit do bandity things.
Right.
Bad guy things.
Did she
Bad guy
specify
things.
like was it power and wealth over a certain region or like
No, she just promised it was just like by the
generically?
time by the time they were done with their plans, that anybody who answered the call would garner the power and wealth that they were deserved.
This might be a stretch, but can I
Okay.
inquire of that bandit?
Uh-huh.
Did Mondath mention that power might come by way of dragon or anything like that?
I mean, you can ask.
Yeah, I don't want to like
But-
make it like real obvious that I was there at Greenest and there was totally a dragon, but like,
Right,
did
right, right.
Mondath mention that like draconic nature was a part of this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can ask. Why don't you give me another persuasion check, but just a straight one.
Persuasion. Ha! That's not the worst. That's a straight middle of the road.
Yeah, no, that one's it's fine because you know you've been having this talk and whatnot. You're
it
not
might
the
be
best.
vaguely common knowledge that there was a
You-
dragon at Greenest.
Well, that's the thing. You've seen, and that's the thing. You've also seen like they've got drakes,
Right, yeah.
and whatnot. You could say that you brought up the like, hey, they've got these drakes.
Is
You
that a
know.
thing? Like, is that part of it? That's
He
kind of
just goes.
weird.
He goes. I mean, I don't know. It might be. I mean, they had. He's just like, yeah. I mean, they sent a couple of those ambush drakes with us when we raided the little hamlet nearby.
Right.
We didn't have any like full on dragon, but from what I've seen of this Mondath lady, I mean, her outfit kind of like screams draconic, and
Oh,
I
I
mean
totally believe it. Yeah.
some of the guys she sent with us, I like spoke dragon to the Drake. So I mean, it could. Not I don't know, but
Right. Yeah, that's nuts.
um,
My character's
why
not
did
very
you
good at charisma, but like she's gonna be like, "That's crazy."
you say that you have at least a 2 in it?
I have a 1 in charisma.
Oh, you have a 1. I'm sorry. Yeah.
My
I
wisdom
mean,
is +4.
it's still
I'm good at knowing. I can read
that's
people, but I'm not good at
that's
explaining things to people.
that's still better than the average person.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, he's like, why did your group like have dragons?
Our group comes across all manner of crazy things. At this point, with the world the way it is, I'm just not really surprised by too much anymore.
I guess that's fair. And he
I-
kind of
I
like
just-
yeah, as you say that, you start to like try to extricate yourself, and you realize that like you should have probably gotten caught with that, but like you also see him like kind of teeter tottering, like, and you're like, he got a head wound. That's right.
I'm just bullshitting my way out of it at this point.
Yeah. And then yeah, you kind of like extricate yourself out of the tent
And be like, well,
meet up
hey
with
man,
Milk.
just keep an eye on this. Maybe in the morning, let's revisit this and repack it, and then I'm gonna dip
And you-
out.
Yeah, no, you're just like, hey, just make sure you keep your head bandaged.
Yeah, keep it elevated.
And it's like
if
your
it
voice
bleeds
just-
through, call somebody.
Yeah, you got that like the comedy thing of your voice slowly drifting away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Get
take a
very
maybe take a nap, but don't, because maybe concussion. But also just take a nap.
If you experience any sort of dizziness, please lay down and take your time.
If it lasts
I
more than
have to
4
go.
hours, don't call your
Call
doctor.
your doctor. And then I'm gonna go find Milk.
Yeah, you're able to easily find Milk, who's just been like wandering in and out of different crowds.
And I think at this point, like, I can just grab Milk by the back of the collar and be like, "Let's go, Milk."
Oh,
Yeah,
she has
I mean,
some food. She has some food because she hasn't eaten in God knows how long.
You can eat. Come on, let's eat.
She does. She has food.
I thought we fed
She's
you.
eating. I have
You
food right here for you.
Oh,
too.
you got more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
yeah. So Milk, I will tell you, you do indeed have food, and it's not one of your rations. You were able to snag some food from a group nearby, say this group, who actually invited you over when they saw you like just looking around.
Yeah.
It was a group of hunters that were doing work for the groups by hunting and bringing in antelope and large game from the grasslands to feed the camp.
I got some for you. I have some for the others.
You also heard a very interesting bit of info while you were getting some food, getting some num-nums. While you were getting food, you overheard a conversation between 2 of the other hunters who weren't giving you said food, that they're curious on why most of the larger game that they bring in and cook or bring in doesn't get cooked and just gets brought over to to a cave in the back and just is gone. Like, it's just taken and disappears.
Oh, here's the deal. Listen to this. Check
Yeah.
how this stuff. Rhoda, in her mind.
Oh, Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing.
So that
Yes.
way we don't seem suspicious talking to each
So,
other.
Rhoda, in your mind, you hear everything I just described.
Rhoda went BRB.
Oh,
Oh. Well, I'll tell her when she gets back.
She went burb.
Oh, well, yeah. Waiting to meet up with the others.
okay. So,
Not everyone.
yeah, we'll say that you two start heading down this way. Maxine, what about you? What are you doing? After I'll say after you notice all of this, you notice that Prixicon has made his way down the slope as well. Maxine.
Niffy.
Okay. I guess
Everyone's
we're waiting.
muted.
Guess we're just waiting on that entire side.
Let's go on a bathroom
Oh,
break,
Maxine
everyone.
is typing.
Okay. Okay, so Maxine is having a mic emergency. All right, while I wait for that, then 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 yeah, as I wait on that side to return, Prixicon and Clinks, we'll just come back to you guys for now. Clinks, so you've made conversation and integrated yourselves with the kobolds. What else do you want to do?
Seeing Pricks Gardens make their way towards like the center of the camp, I'll nod to my new kobold friend and fucking humans. I guess I got to go back to work now.
Um,
And then
before you go back, well, as you say that and whatnot, he does the kobold you've been talking to just says, just careful. It's okay to speak like that with us. Just be careful what you say around some people. I wouldn't want to see a um fellow human hater. I don't know why I went with a Brooklyn accent for that. Turned into kind of made like the prisoners made.
yeah, I know. I'll smile and nod. He.
Well, I
Dirty.
mean, some of them are turned into food, so
Yeah.
any
I
kind
don't
of
have much meat on me, so
and neither do they after they're done being used for all the manual labor. But then again, it's still better than the times that they end up using us to feed whatever they're keeping in that cave.
thank you for the warning, friend.
Mm-hmm. They don't feed them either, so it's like I don't want to see you get all I don't want to see you turn all skin and bones like them. Or converted, like that would be dumb.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
Okay. So you're gonna make your way to Prixicon?
Yes.
Okay, so you will make your way to Prixicon easily. And Rhoda, you said you're back?
I'm back.
Okay, so yes. So did you hear what I had said to Milk before?
Not entirely. No, I think I got the first
Okay.
part of it.
So
Yeah.
basically, Milk retold you in your mind
Mhm.
that she had heard a conversation from some of the hunters who apparently were hired to hunt antelope and even bigger game from the grasslands, and that two of the hunters were discussing why some of the like it's weird that some of the bigger game that they're hunted is just isn't used to feed the camp itself. It's just taken to the cave all the way in the back and then just and then never heard about again.
Okay. Milk told you this in my mind.
Yeah, Milk told you that in your mind.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll listen to it and I'll definitely take it to heart or whatever. But definitely that I've heard it in my mind. I'm gonna give Milk like a approval, like a nod
Mhm.
of approval, right? Appreciate you
So
telling me, and also secretly.
that way we can talk to each other and not be suspicious. They won't know.
Did I see you
As long as
cast anything to do that, or was that just a thing that you did?
Nope. That's just you just heard it in your mind.
I try to think something at her in response. Does that work?
yeah,
No, it does. No, it does not.
It is
I
not.
can't hear her back.
No, we talked about this when you chose that it
Oh.
is a one-way thing.
Okay, not hearing a response, I'll be like, okay, I can just receive messages. Like I'll try to logic that up for myself.
Yeah, it's basically it's as a ghostwise halfling, it's you can speak telepathically to any creature within 30 feet of you. They need to understand only if you two share a language, and you can speak telepathically in this way to one creature at a time.
Right.
Most of the other ones also talk about how they can also respond. I always read that as a because it is
That's
a
fine.
racial thing, they all just do it one way
It
back
says
and forth
speak.
to
It
each
doesn't
other.
say like communicate back and forth. That's fair.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just you can speak to you. Like Milk can speak to a thing. It's
That's
not
fair.
saying that it can speak back.
I'll give a little silent thumbs up, like a little wink, right? Like I understood it, but I know I can't respond.
Looking at each other, nodding, giving thumbs up, like, yep, yeah.
But like I'll
That's suspicious.
acknowledge that, like, yes, I heard that. You know.
Here, here, have some food. Let's go meet up with the others.
Okay, thanks.
Hello?
Hello.
Ah,
Welcome
okay,
back.
they're good. They are.
That everyone can hear. That's the only thing everyone heard between us. Let's go eat some
Let's
food.
go snack.
Yep.
Yeah, snacks.
So
Snacks.
okay,
Snack.
now you're making yourself suspicious.
No, we're
Yes.
goth
Like,
girlfriends.
bandits.
All we do is snack.
Well, you tell me bandits don't like snacks. Come on.
They don't go around going snack.
Oh,
You're messing
we
with the
look
wrong
like
bandits.
So where are you two making your way towards?
making our way downtown.
Along this little
Walking
path
fast.
here.
Okay.
See this little
You just
path?
go-
We're just gonna follow it. Yeah.
Okay. And then as you guys make your way down, Maxine, you have popped out around here. You've noticed the prisoners. You noticed Prixicon. What are you doing? You notice Milk and Rhoda making their way through the crowd with food.
Snacks.
Okay. Wondering why I didn't get any snacks, but whatever.
Yeah, that's funny.
Fair.
Can't say I didn't nibble off some of your guys' fries. Sorry.
We're gonna establish bandit snacks.
You know, you eat everyone else's fries but yours, and then when
There
you
are
get
no
home,
fries. They're just antelope chunks.
oh damn,
We cut
you
them
ain't
into
going
little
to Bandit
strips.
Donald's.
This is fantasy time. There's no fryers.
Sure there is. Just fats of oil. With
Yeah,
a small
flour.
pseudo dragon.
Flour, oil, like we got it.
Chat it. Okay, get out of here. What are you doing, Maxine?
Okay, so I see the prisoners.
You see the prisoners. And then you see everybody making their way downtown. That is this is essentially as you've popped out of the crowd. You notice the prisoners. You notice that you've noticed the hierarchy areas that Prixicon noticed, and then you look back and you notice everybody starting to make their way to you or to this general area.
If only we've established some nonverbal communications prior to this. Okay, so I'm gonna look at Prixicon because he seems to be the closest and the tallest. And I'm gonna kind of try to give him like a non-verbal like nod, like like this way, kind of thing, and pointing in this direction.
Okay.
As I'm going to stealth and try to get closer to the big bad guys. These guys.
Okay.
I don't think we should go any further.
Milk water for the comic relief.
Well, I don't think we should be going any further, and I think we got some shit.
You've
But
got
yeah.
nothing.
Let's go home.
You've got you've got the info that meat disappears.
Well, my thought is I'm kind of hoping that they're taking the prisoners in this direction.
Not you.
I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay, so you roll a 16. Okay. So yeah, you do more of your weaving in and out of crowd.
Yeah, it's less so much hiding and more so like not
Yeah,
not gathering suspicion.
yeah, you're trying to stay nonchalant.
Yeah, I'm not like jumping into a hay barrel, like jumping in and out of them. But
You're trying to you're walking casual.
exactly,
And not jumping off of churches.
no.
Yeah, so you can make your way further in.
Cool.
All right. So as you guys, basically, I'm gonna say you four basically all meet up around this area, having all merged together. And Prixagon, you've seen Maxine's little notice and notice that she starts to casually make her way in and moving through the tents.
I'm going to let Rhoda know where the prisoners are, but also you may not want to show your face just in case they recognize and
Right.
lower
Yeah.
cover.
So all the last three of you are pointed out to this group of 8 prisoners put to manual labor, and yes, it is indeed 5 of them are indeed residents of Green Nest.
We're gonna have to hope we can get them out of here afterwards. This is on hope. And that's when he starts making his way a distance behind Maxine so she can
Mhm.
get ahead.
Okay.
I'll before Prixicon dips off, I'll relay to him that I think probably our goal is that cave back there.
What's
Make
in the
sure
cave?
we're all on the same page, you know. And then I'm amongst smalls.
I mean, you are amongst smalls.
Clinks,
And
where's
one
your dog?
talls. Oh god, Greg's loose.
Where is
Uh-oh.
Clinks' dog?
Where
Oh no.
Greg's there. It's fine. Just
Okay.
He's
been following close.
he's like
essentially.
prancing. He's just prancing along,
Okay.
sniffing around.
I'll say, "Where's Greg?" and then I'll turn around and there he be.
It's got a suspiciously looking like kobold limb just randomly sticking out of his mouth.
No, in fact, actually, no. What you do notice is that like he's got a big ass haunch of that antelope that was cooking.
Yeah.
It's just in his mouth. He's like, yep, and all
So-
that's. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see Rescuers Down Under?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg is essentially the lizard in that, who's just got a bone sticking out of his mouth.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
As you guys get closer to into this area, you do just to repoint it out, notice the giant watchtower up on the perch.
Right.
Be here?
Yes, this is a watchtower.
Does anybody have any binoculars?
No.
Oh, rip.
No, I just got good peepers.
Yeah. Well, jeepers creepers, what do your peepers see?
A bunch of assholes in the tower.
Yeah,
a bunch of assholes in a tower.
that's fair.
And now that you've all gotten down to this area, there's something. Maxine, as you're darting through, you're the first one to notice this. But you all eventually will see it. Past the prisoners all being put to work, you see an individual. A individual put up as a display piece just in the middle of the field.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, you see a man strung up on a cross, essentially on an X cross. You can't
Is he
make out,
alive?
you cannot make out any details. You are very far away. You just see him back. You're almost 200 feet away.
I'm not gonna read
Okay,
the part that says
got it.
Leosin captured by Ferulum.
Don't read out the name of the thing. Literally every time you're ruining
It was there.
the mis- yeah, don't read it.
Who is
Don't read
that?
it.
Who's
Or
that?
don't
Who is that?
or I
Let's
should
go
say
find
don't
out.
read it out.
You got it, but don't. You're not supposed to look at it or read it.
Let's go find
You're
out who that is, you guys.
You're the worst. But
I'm
yes,
trying to
you do
help.
see, you're breaking my rubbish. No, but basically you all can see the outline of a man tied to this X cross stake far in the back of the area, past the prisoners.
Oh my god.
You
who is
can't
it?
make out any. Shut up. Shut up.
They're throwing tomatoes at.
But you can't make out any details, but that is just the image you see is from the distance.
Alrighty then. How many people between me and crucified dude?
A decent amount. Like if you can, there's a couple like guards and drakes that like pass by him every now and then, but there's like most of the people around here seem to be like the more higher end guys, but there's a decent amount. Like I said, this can't be bussin'.
No, no,
No.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Listen,
No.
if I got
No,
people
I'm
breaking
out.
my immersion,
I'm out.
And that was
Alright,
when
fine.
the entire group disbanded. Okay.
The camp is very packed with people. Well, not packed with
Sure.
people, but it's full of people.
Well, if there's enough people crammed around this display, maybe we can kind of also cram.
Well,
Yeah, I would.
Like I said, not crammed. There's there's almost 200 people around a 1,000-foot distance of camp.
I would like to make my way towards crucified bondage X guy.
Okay.
Crucified
I
Bondage X guy.
I can't say
That was
I
my
can't
nickname
say
in high
can't
school.
I can't say busted, but you can say crucified bondage axe guy. Cool. I see how it is.
Well, I can't say what it is because I can't read the description on the photo. So,
This is fair. Either we get the description or we don't.
or I make my description, and that's my description.
You guys should do what I do. Anytime
Apparently
you
I
get
gotta-
a handout or important information, you forget it.
Apparently, I got to go through and just remove all the names from things. Cool. Thanks, guys.
That's fine. Maxine wants to know who this is, like, legitimately.
Yeah, actual legitimate question.
Yes.
Did we
Oh,
get a
yes.
description?
You know that he is a you were just told that he was a black-haired half elf.
And I'm assuming from 200 feet away, I can't really see that much detail on him.
No, it's like it's I don't know. Can you see 200 feet away normally?
Yes.
Shut up, no, you can't. You're blind as a bat.
Fair. I mean, but Maxine ain't. She don't wear glasses.
I have legitimate vision. I could maybe see 200 feet away, depending on what time of day it was, if there's anything in the way.
Midday.
How big
So,
is the
real
camp
question.
No, you see a general outline. You don't see any like standout images. Like you don't see his ears.
In the photo, there's people surrounding him. Is that how it is in this case, or people just kind of doing their business and he's just there with
Right.
guards around him?
Right now, people are just doing their business. There's
Yes.
They are not surrounding him like in the photo.
Okay, so I would like to do my business towards that direction then.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Why don't you make me a new stealth check just because you're changing direction?
Oh, trust me, I know my phrasing.
When you walk at a guy doing your business.
I do my business well.
Yep. Yes, you're able to make your way that way now, not causing any disturbance while you're just like walking in a direction and all of a sudden be like, "Uh-oh, what that?"
Look,
So-
shiny!
So your direction change is not noticed and you can start making your way that way.
Cool.
And with the increased movement, just
I was gonna say with this, you can just pick up your token and go. You don't need to like that move and only move your speed.
I mean, actually, 71 would be within my speed, wouldn't it?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is more free roam. You don't need to worry about your speed right now.
Can the rest of us hippie hop down a level?
Yeah, you can maybe hop down a little bit.
Come on, Smalls.
Hip hop, hibbity hop.
The hip and the hop and the hippity hop.
But yes, so Maxine, you start making your way towards that.
Come on, Flanks.
As a group, you guys start shimmying your way down through the camp. You see the prisoners.
Three wild and crazy girls. This is girl time right now.
So yeah. So group that is not actually full on stealthing. What do you plan on doing?
I'm gonna give Plank some food. I got this from the hunters.
So you have food, and then Greg has an antelope shank.
We're kind of eating the same thing. I'm passing out more antelope.
That's fair. It's not bad.
No, I mean it's cooked. It's cooked well enough to be able to like. We have to feed over 200 people. We have to cook this quickly enough, but also make sure nobody dies from
Right.
food poisoning.
Right.
Yeah. We lost them. They're stealthing, so we lost them.
Well,
I
no,
also
only
gotta make
next.
sure they don't die from Kuru.
But no, only Maxine is stealthing. Persican is just walking.
Yep, pretending to be part of it all.
Yeah. Like you guys are just in the crowd. Maxine is like dip dodge and ducking casually through the crowd to like is playing that like I'm gonna make my way across the dance floor, but nobody's gonna notice me going across the dance floor.
Maybe.
You guys are just walking. That's why I'm asking what your plan is. That way, whether or not you end up garnering any notice. Like, do you guys want to talk to some of the people in the crowd? Do you want to try to also make your way over to the guy? Do you want to like try to get closer to the big tent? What's the plan?
Maybe nonchalantly head over towards as if we're going to look at the guy, but still, making sure that we could rush over to the tent just in case.
Okay.
We should
Maybe.
go hang out with Prixagon.
Personally,
Almost
I'm
like
gonna.
we stumbled upon it.
Personally, I'm gonna be pretending part. I mean, we did kind of stumble upon it, so I guess it wouldn't be pretending, but
Right.
gonna, because I like doing this. Sit up. Walk up to this guy. I know, full of myself being.
That this guy is indeed not a guy.
Oh.
So as you guys get closer, you notice that surrounding the tent and then blocking off a cave in the back are where is it? Are heavily armored guards. Hold on. Check. Heavily armored guards in splint mail wielding long swords and short swords and have crossbows on their backs, guarding the tent and such, while also having do I have it? Yep. Which and also accompanied by these.
Right.
Ooh.
A different brand of Drake than you saw in Greenest. These being the ones you saw in Greenest, both being green scaled, slender, and very like dexterous. These are very like beef boy, blue scaled with a big horn on their head, on their face.
They look
Uh,
anky.
Yeah, these ones are like very like front power heavy with big thick tails. These being like big guard dog type of drakes.
Right.
Rottweilers and shepherds.
Basically, yeah, think of it's like I'm trying to think how
All
um
lizards are doggos. You just find out what kind of dog.
that's what I'm trying I guess greyhounds versus pit bull
Fair enough.
because that fucking muscle tone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Its feet's go like this.
Would you be surprised if that makes me think more of Tibetan Mastiffs?
I mean, that's a fair assessment, but
So-
I'm thinking more just the big staunch.
Glancing over here, though, what's in front of here?
Those are as I said, the cave. There's a cave entrance and the tent, and both are guarded with heavily armored men.
The lads, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is as close as I'm gonna get to the tent anyway, though, right?
Yeah, you could see like the guards are like keeping people back.
they gotta be
Good.
hiding something good in that one.
Well, what do you think, Milk? I feel like I should have adopted a different accent while I was here, maybe, to, like, distinguish myself from being from Greenest.
No, I mean you could assume you'd be fine. It's not like the bandits were talking to people; they were kind of just stealing and running.
That's fair.
Yeah, and some bandits were probably from Greenest. Let's be honest.
It's true.
I'm not.
Well, should we... How do we approach... I mean,
Oh, don't worry, that's what I was gonna do.
go for it. Let's go.
Not
Yes,
not approach the guy, but you know, I assumed this was like another half dragon, but that was me being a dumb.
No. I mean, it's fair. They're both blue and they both have a horn on their face. And you don't see the rest of the body of these. But yeah, you see that like there's one for every one of the guards.
Hmm.
And they're all like standing at like attention. As you kind of like walk up, it kind of growls at you, and this guard kind of just looks up and goes, "Recruit, back away. You should know you are not allowed near this tent."
First, I haven't fucking told about it, and just looking at the guy who's strung up. The fuck's that?
Let me. He looks over at that. He goes, "Oh, him. Hey. How to put this? Uh, he goes, you must be new then. First off, this tent, the cave, off limits to you recruits. Him, he's what happens when you get a little too nosy." And then he points over at the manual labors. Those are what you get when you disobey the orders of the higher ups. And then he looks back at the tied up man, who Maxine, since you've been working closer and Proxine, you've gotten closer. You are close enough to now notice he is a black-haired half elf, who looks like he has been severely beaten, and looks very hungry and thirsty. And he goes, that is also an interest to our leaders.
Hmm. Well, wouldn't want to end up by them or him. Got any more advice I should know about?
Just when we call for you, you come. Don't go into the cave. Don't come to the tent unless you are specifically called for. And we should get along just fine. And the Drake just just like gives a low, like rumble growl at you.
Hmm.
And then
Last question.
the guard before you ask yours will just be like, which group are you part of? I assume you're with one of the bandit groups that came in recently. I don't recognize you as one of ours.
If Prixicon
The Rough Raven
hesitates,
Raiders.
yeah, okay, I was gonna say, do I see this interaction?
Yeah, you guys
Okay.
would see the Prixicon talking to him. He goes, good to know. What were you about to ask him?
I was just gonna play it. Nice isn't the right word to use, but just like, what's the name of this thing?
Name of what thing? Oh, in front of you?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
he goes,
actually ask its name, like it's a pet.
oh. He goes, "Hmm, we don't give them names.
Hmm.
All you need to know is that it is a loyal guard Drake to the cause.
Gotcha. Though, ain't my place to interfere, but that guy, if he's meant to be an example, water and
Um,
food might keep him around more.
we were ordered to deny him. It's not our place to decide. That's that's the boss's. And she has denied him his food and water for now. The best
Well,
way to break a spirit.
if it ever needs reminding, just 7 days without water.
He kind of looks at you like yeah, I know, motherfucker. I'm a guard like this for a reason. Um, but yeah, Prixicon, why don't you make me an insight check and then a perception check. And then while you do that, Maxine, you're able to get up to about here without getting any like real notice.
Woo!
But you also you're still like 50 feet away.
Now from
Uh,
here, I'm guessing I can see these guards a bit more
Yeah, no,
clearly.
you guys, just from being by that tent, you see all of that. Um, yeah, those guards kind of look a little familiar to you, though, Maxine.
Well,
Now
it
that you-
doesn't sound great.
Now that you're closer. Um,